As Hurricane Dorian barrels towards Florida, we're tracking its path and seeing how millions are bracing for impact. Next at midday.
Fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 News at midday.
Happening right now, millions of people across the state of Florida are preparing for what could be a devastating storm. On your left, a live look in Daytona Beach right now where you can see things are calm, and on the right, a live look in Miami where right now the mayor is giving an update on storm preparations. We have team coverage this midday as Dorian barrels towards the U.S., and we'll have much more on how the state of Florida is preparing for the storm in just minutes. But first, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Matt Rudkin, who's in for Abby. And Matt, this storm is hitting just in time for the holiday weekend.
Yeah, kind of bad timing here. Latest update from the National Hurricane Center, still Category 2. I bet you, though, by 2 o'clock, the next update, that's probably going to be bumped up to Category 3. 111-mile-an-hour winds, sustained winds, is what justifies a Category 3. So we're really, really close. Still moving to the northwest. There it is. Infrared satellite. The darker reds indicate higher clouds, thus stronger storms or colder temperatures, and starting to see an eye now. So this thing's really starting to get its act together. Here's the official track from the National Hurricane Center. We'll put this into motion. Really remains unchanged. It stays north of the islands, which is not good news. That just keeps it over open water and continues to push towards eastern and southeastern Florida. National Hurricane Center still has it as a Category 4 hurricane. A couple things to note here and some things they're trying to clear. Number one, the timing. Several guidance keeps getting this later and later, which again is not good news. It means it sits over open water longer. Right now, it looks to be Labor Day itself. It may be late Labor Day and into Tuesday. Something we'll have to watch for you. Nonetheless, if you have friends anywhere in the eastern part of Florida, especially central and southeast Florida, I hope they're taking preparations and taking the storm seriously. Here's a bunch of models. The lines indicate where they think the center of the storm will go. Lots of them now starting to really pinpoint Fort Lauderdale and points northward there in eastern Florida. So the other thing, there's going to be a lot of threats, a lot of activity with this storm. One of them is just the wind. So this represents wind gusts here. We'll put this into motion. Now kind of ignore the time. Remember, this is just one model, give or take 24 hours here, but they're all starting to say the same thing, which is wind gusts wherever the eye of the storm's at, 100-mile-an-hour plus, which is going to do significant structural damage. It'll also bring in a ton of water on the eastern coast of Florida. So storm surge will be significant. That's in addition to flooding as well. Once this makes landfall, it'll probably stall out, and then we will get feet of rainfall. So this is a big storm for Florida. We'll have much more on this later this afternoon at 4, 5, and 6 and through the weekend newscast. Locally, it's Labor Day weekend. Looks okay, and I know a lot of focus on Louisville for the football game. I'll have all that coming your way in just a bit.
All right, Matt, thank you. Our team coverage continues now in Cocoa Beach, Florida. This is a live look this midday. Things are pretty calm right now, but as Nicole Killian explains, thousands here are preparing for the worst.
It's hard to say exactly where Hurricane Dorian will make landfall. Forecasters say the powerful storm is going to hit along Florida's Atlantic coast Monday or Tuesday. For now, most people are staying put, including Keena Williams.
We have a generator and stuff like that, so I feel like we're all set and stuff.
So you're going to ride it out?
Yes, ma'am.
The path that I'm looking at, we're not right near the eye wall at all, so I'm not that concerned as far as that impact.
With Dorian inching closer, people are stocking up. Lines are long for sandbags and gas.
I had a half a tank of gas, so I just want to make sure I top it off.
Stores are quickly running out of necessities.
I've never seen anything like this.
Well, my plan was to buy a couple of cases of water, but when I looked around the corner and the line is out to the back, past the gas station, there's no way I'm waiting in this line.
Forecasters say Dorian could be a dangerous Cat 4 hurricane by the time it makes landfall. That would make it the most powerful storm to hit Florida's east coast since Andrew did 27 years ago.
This is potentially a multi-day event where it will churn slowly across the state.
President Trump canceled his weekend trip to Poland to monitor the situation. He posted a video on Twitter last night warning Floridians the storm could be what he called an absolute monster.
We're ready. We have the best people in the world ready, and they're going to help you.
Ahead of the storm, the U.S. military is moving more than a dozen planes out of harm's way, while the National Guard is mobilizing about 2,000 troops today and even more tomorrow. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Nicole, thank you. Stay with WSBT 22 as we continue to track Hurricane Dorian, and we'll have live updates throughout the day and anytime on WSBT.com. Relief for people living in South Bend apartment complex. City leaders and organizations met last night with people at the Western Manor Apartments to help with financial aid. This comes after many felt they were being forced out when new owners raised rent $200. South Bend Energy says everyone who applied for aid now has their deposit paid. But many people there say they still want answers about why the new owners decided to raise the rent.
They refused to meet with us. I spoke to their corporate counsel, who made it very clear that they are in it to make a profit and they do not care what happens to people.
The new owners of the complex say they're willing to work with tenants who wanted to move out but couldn't find a new place by the Sunday deposit deadline. The state of Indiana now taking action to decrease the number of minors vaping. The governor revealed a multi-million-dollar plan yesterday at Fishers High School. According to the Indiana Youth Tobacco Survey, 19% of high school students admit to using e-cigarettes, and 24% say they have used a Juul. The Hoosier State is now spending an estimated $2.1 million on an education awareness and prevention campaign, as well as a texting program that allows students to enter Ditch Juul in their phones to get addiction help. Governor Holcomb says other options are also being considered, like a tax on vaping, a lawsuit against vaping companies, and changing the smoking age to 21. Well, it could be another dangerous day on Lake Michigan. This is a live look right now at Silver Beach in St. Joseph, where a moderate swim risk is expected today with waves between 2 and 3 feet. This comes as the Great Lakes are on a par to have a record number of drownings this year. As of today, there have been 36 drownings in Lake Michigan in just the past year, and last year there were 27. And since 2010, there have been more than 816 drownings. Only a small percentage of drownings happen during dangerous conditions. The rest happen when people swim in water above their head or fall off a boat. So although the water may seem calm this weekend, the risk for drowning remains about the same.
Oftentimes people will be thinking, I might not come back to the beach for 9 months, so they might push their limits. They might swim far out to the swim buoy, or if there's waves, they might get into water over their head. If somebody is drowning, they're typically facing shore, mouth at water level, head tilted back. They're doing this climbing the ladder motion in the water. They might be pawing with both hands at their sides.
If you do find yourself panicking in the water, you should do 3 things. Number 1, flip onto your back. Number 2, float to keep your head above water. And number 3, follow a safe path out of the water. New at midday, the city of Plymouth just won a big award. It was just named the Community of the Year by the Indiana Chamber of Commerce. WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon is live at City Hall. And Caitlin, business success was one of the reasons Plymouth won.
That's right, Lauren, and this downtown is a testament to that. Leaders with the Indiana Chamber say Plymouth planned ahead for business, and those businesses have stayed. The Chamber pointed out Pretzels Incorporated and Indiana Wheel Company, which have both expanded to create more than 300 jobs. But economics weren't the only reason Plymouth was selected for this honor. Chamber leaders say Plymouth has done a lot to improve quality of life for its community. Things like park improvements, recreational facilities, and even the Blueberry Festival, all make Plymouth a great place to live.
Our downtown concerts, our downtown activities. Every Saturday there's something to do, it seems like, whether it's a farmer's market or art in the street or the car show or the tractor show or the Yellow River Festival.
I had a chance to speak with leaders from the Marshall County Economic Development Corporation. You can hear why they say this award means more than just to the people of Plymouth. You can hear all of that coming up tonight at 5:30. But for now, live in Plymouth, Caitlin Connon, WSBT 22 News.
All right, thank you, Caitlin. Notre Dame fans, are you ready? Game day is almost here. Next, details about a special experience happening for Irish fans in Louisville. It's also a big weekend here at home. Everything you need to know about the 53rd annual Blueberry Festival coming up.
And a very nice day today as many of you kick off Labor Day weekend. We'll talk local now, chat about the weekend here, and look down towards Louisville for the big game on Monday. Your forecast is next.